Morning everybody, AmpRepairGuy.com. It's about 4:45 in the morning. So I have a Ameritron Al80b here. Working on a lot of these amps. I've been super busy here. I haven't been making videos. There's just so much to do. It's a little time. So I went over it real quick. It's going to need an air variable on the plate side. Has some arc damage. It's hard to see. As you can see, there's part of it right there. It's boogered up more as you go further down. So, you know, if it was easy to remove, I could just clean it, but, you know, you take a risk, you clean it, and then a lot of times it'll still arc. So, you know, for the cost of a new air variable, air variable capacitor, it just makes more sense to replace it. And I have one in stock, a brand new one from Ameritron. So I'll replace that. I'm going to put the gas discharge tubes in. I don't like, the customer zip tied it like this. That's not a good idea, because it can still wobble. You're still putting stress on everything. So what I do is I recommend zip tying the anode cap right to the socket standoff down here for safe travels. So I'll fix up the wiring. Someone changed the meter lamps and I'm guessing soldered it. Sometimes I've seen it like twisted together. Needs new SO239 connectors. I'll replace those. Clean the relays, clean the rotary switches, check everything else over. It takes a lot of time. You get that air, the air variable capacitor, all the knobs have to come off, panel has to come off, that air variable has to come out. Inside of this, inside of that over there. I mean, just a lot of work. So I'm going to get to that. As you can see, another Ameritron. Waiting on tubes to test this. SP220. Have another Ameritron. Another SP220. I just changed the band switch on. So, just never ending here, but I like it. So, got my Pentalab tubes. They always keep me fully stocked on those. Actually, I have them all over the place. But here's their logo. Better to have them than not have them. So great company, great customer service. This one got a brand new set. The Ameritron over there got a brand new set. This guy's gonna need a brand new Pentalab tube. So when you get to work, I'll be back when it's all finished. See you guys soon. AmpRepairGuy.com is my website, and check out my other YouTube videos, and please like, share, and subscribe. But I'll be back in a bit. See you soon. Okay, I'm back with the front panel partially removed and carefully just set aside like that. So you have two ring terminals that go through this board right here. They attach to the stud on the front of the capacitors. One does nothing, just gives support to the board. As you can see, it's over here. Requires a 3/8 wrench. There's that one. That one makes an electrical connection up here to the output network. So this is the load air variable capacitor, and that's the plate. I went in there with an Allen wrench to loosen the screws here on the vernier drive. These are all greased up. There's a lot of grease on the shaft. Someone's had this apart. It was missing some hardware. It's also missing one of the set screws, so I'll replace that. So let me move this out of the way. I unsoldered these connections in the back. Just lift it up, loosen the nuts, lift it up. So took the screws out, holding them both in. So I'll pull this out to gain access to this aside. Gain access to that one. Okay, so I'm going to pull that out, replace it. and then I'll be back. See you guys soon. Okay, I've got the capacitor removed. As you can see between the plates, you can see the arc damage. So it's going to be on the other plates too. You know, normally I could try to clean it up, but you know, it's like these are I think like 30 something bucks. So put a brand new one in there. So, you know, if it started to arc again, you know, then it'd have to come all apart again. So it just makes sense to put a brand new one in there. And it looks like one of the vernier, it's damaged. Look at that, it's like wobbling around within the vernier. So I'm going to replace that. This one looks okay. So just these little things, I make sure I check everything, you know, it's not just fix it and send it on its way. I want everything to be right. Okay, so I got that grease all over my hands. It's nasty stuff. I don't know why they're greased so much. Okay, so I'll be back. I will see you guys soon. Stay tuned. Okay, I have the new one installed. Here's the old one. So what I do is I'll put the capacitor in, get the screws in, and then I get it, the cap secured to the board, resoldered, and then at that point, you know, then I'll tighten the set screws on the shaft, and then I'll end up tightening the screws which mount the vernier to the panel. So that allows it to get in place so there's no binding between the vernier and the air variable capacitor. That's the key to doing it, because if this fails, I've seen situations where it'll fail internally and then it doesn't turn at all on the other opposite side. So a little dusty in here, I'll clean that out. Alright, so I'll be back once that's all installed. See you soon. Okay, everything's reinstalled. Put a second set screw in, vernier drive for the shaft here for the air variable capacitor. On the load side, the new plate one is in. Everything's soldered really nice. I have a pointer for you guys. I've never mentioned this before, but when you unsolder these, they don't crimp the ring terminal to the solid conductor wire. When I take it apart, I crimp it really well. Otherwise, it just slips right down when you go to solder it, and it's a pain in the butt. So everything looks good. I'll put the knobs back on, and I'm going to change the SO239s and then redo the wiring for the lamp, for the lights, the meter lamps. And I'll be back. See you guys soon. Okay, so I'm back with the completed amplifier. So just to recap, new air variable on the plate side, gas discharge tubes between each side of the filament and ground, new SO239 connectors, clean the contacts on all the relays and all the rotary switches, resoldered the meter lamps and heat shrunk them, new vernier drive on the plate side, replaced some missing hardware. The little pointer things didn't have the split washer behind them, which spaces it out from the front panel a little bit and also stops the screw from backing out. So also touched up on some solder joints. So this thing is ready to rock and roll. Got a brand new Pentalab tube. I used one of my test tubes here, and he's ordering one direct from Penta. They are drop shipping it to him. Great company. Also had to replace the meter protection diode. So this thing is ready to rock and roll. Brand new fuses too. The glass fuses were blown apart. So requires 10 amp fuses when it's wired for 220. So thanks for watching. Website is amprepairguy.com, and I'd appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe. Lots more to come. Never ending. 73.